You're watching CW Montana. This is the MTN 9 o'clock news.
And good evening. Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday. I'm Andrea Lutz. Ahead tonight, we have the latest on an afternoon shooting in downtown Billings. Plus, a water purifying plant in Butte is almost complete. But can it clean the waters of the Berkeley pit? We're going to tell you about that coming up. But first, we begin tonight in Helena, where the cold weather is causing major issues to homes, businesses, and to schools. MTN's Evelyn Schultz is in Helena, and she explains what the city is dealing with. Evie.
School leaders say Helena High will be closed for a second day on Wednesday. That's because of a second water main break. The decision was made to close the school Monday night after the first water pipe burst. Crews could be seen in front of the high school today digging through the ice, snow, and frozen ground to try and repair the pipe. Superintendent Tyler Ream says the school suffered some damage from the broken pipe. They're working with contractors to determine when they can reopen the school and will alert parents as soon as possible.
A water main is a difficult thing to repair, and the conditions in which we are trying to repair it make it just that much more difficult. The break is actually near the main city line, which is just off of the street.
Today was the second day in a row the school district had to close a school because of a weather-related issue. A power outage forced school officials to close Rossiter School Monday. Superintendent Ream says while the building was without heat, some pipes froze and ended up breaking. And a Helena landlord is in dismay after the heat was turned off in an evicted tenant's apartment. It caused thousands of dollars in damage. Today, William Semenza learned water was flowing out of one of his rental property units. Semenza had to bust down the door to get inside. He found the heat had been manually turned off inside the apartment. The pipes had burst. The refrigerator and oven were covered in ice. Water had flowed into the living room and the crawl space. Semenza says he's still getting a grasp on the full extent of the damages, but he's worried about potential structural damage.
This is just totally ridiculous, and compensation gets into everything and it destroys everything, you know, and that's what's happened, you know.
Other damage to the apartment included several holes in doors and damage to the walls. Semenza says he's taking legal action against the previous tenant.
All right, thanks, Evie, for that report from Helena. A burst sprinkler brought an end to a dance class in Billings. Well, this is what it looked like from the outside of the Montana Movement Arts Academy. But then there was water that was filling the inside of it, up until it all being cleaned, of course. So firefighters in the Billings area say that homes and businesses are now on watch as pipes thaw. You can see the inside of that building right now. It's the water rushing down. Tonight, a man is recovering from a gunshot wound after a downtown shooting in Billings. MTN's Mitch Legge is standing by as police continue to investigate what led to shots being fired.
Andrea, Billings police say that the shot was fired on North Broadway. Then the victim ran with a gunshot wound to his leg and landed in a snowbank at the corner of North 27th and 2nd Avenue. Take a look at the scene earlier today where there was a lot of police presence. Once the man landed in the snow, he started to place a tourniquet on his own gunshot wound. That's when another person saw the man bleeding and called 911 for help. The victim's injury is not life-threatening, but police believe there is more to the story.
He has no idea where the gunshot came from. He was over in the area and got shot and ran over here and doesn't know much else than that. Currently, we're investigating all leads, looking into that, going to check video, you know, do the stuff cops do, and see if we can figure out what really happened.
Although there is no alleged shooter on the loose, Billings police say they don't believe there is a threat to the public. We'll keep you updated on this shooting as more information unfolds. Andrea?
All right, thanks, Mitch. In Missoula, the danger surrounding the urban avalanche warning is getting better. The snow is getting more stable, and the danger has gone from considerable to low. However, a slide is still possible. Avalanche experts say triggers are maybe rain or a snow event in higher elevations, or another 8 to 10 inches of snow with heavy winds. So experts are staying proactive.
We remember from 2014, the main cause of that was an artificial trigger. It was the snowboarder on the top that triggered the avalanche that did cause the fatality and buried 4 people. So by eliminating those triggers, and respecting those closures, we're being proactive to the cause of 2014.
After ski tracks were found on Mount Jumbo over the weekend, folks living nearby are being asked to respect the closure. The Billings mayor is at the nation's capital calling for an end to suicide. Mayor Bill Cole was at the White House even today as President Trump signed an executive order. Montana has some of the highest suicide rates in the country, with many of the victims being our veterans. Cole says he was honored to get a call from the White House to be in attendance. Billings is part of the mayor's challenge to attack suicide.
There's no doubt that calling attention to a problem that normally lives in the darkness is really important. People have to know that they can get help and that it's okay to say that they need help, both the families and veterans who are suffering. But I'm hoping that this initiative will go beyond just public attention, but also result in funding.
After the signing, Montana's delegation weighed in. Senator Steve Daines said he applauds the executive order, while Senator John Tester says he's optimistic, but said more needs to be done. Gallons of toxic water rising in Butte's Berkeley pit will be pumped out and cleaned out by the end of the month. Montana Resources and ARCO have nearly completed its polishing plant, which will treat gallons of water and then it will be dumped into nearby Silverbow Creek. This will stop the pit water from rising to that critical water level. The critical level is within about 60 feet right now.
Well, we're hoping to get started hopefully before the end of this month, discharging up to about 3 million gallons a day. And then as the polishing facility, gets fully built out, it'll have a capacity up to 10 million gallons a day.
The winter weather conditions have caused some delays for that project, but the pumps should be fully working within a few weeks, we are told. Kettle House Brewing Company in Missoula is changing its logo and canning another popular beer. The crew is canning Hellgate Honey Hefeweizen with the new branding, its new logo. All of it incorporates mountains and sunshine. This beer is made from locally grown barley, in case you were wondering. The brewery recently opened its new tap room at the Kettle House Amphitheater. Still to come on tonight's MTN 9 o'clock news, adding a sales tax in Montana is essentially a non-starter, but it wasn't always that way. In a special report, we're going to take a look back at the history of why. And right after the break, MTN forecaster Bob McGuire delivers your statewide weather forecast. We'll be right back.